We begin this afternoon with the reports that the presidency says 17 months is enough time for the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to bring to an end the various security challenges plaguing the country. Speaking in an interview, the special advisor to the President and Media Publicity, Femi Adesina, said that the President can still end insecurity in the country before his exit. Recall that in August, President Buhari had warned security chiefs that he was not prepared to leave office as a failure, stressing that he was determined to turn things around in the war against insecurity. And away from that, the senior special assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari, Garba Shehu, says the president's refusal to send the Electoral Act is in the interest of Nigerians, adding that the move is part of efforts to protect the democracy of the nation and the president will do whatever he can to protect it. This was contained in a statement describing the Electoral Bill as favorable to rich political parties. Shehu stressed that it was the job of government to protect Nigeria, her people, and her democracy. Recall that President Buhari last Tuesday declined assent to the Electoral Act amendment bill over the direct primaries clause, including legal, economic, security challenges, and negative impact on rights of citizens to participate in the government as constitutionally ensured. Meanwhile, the federal government has reassured the people of Akwa Ibom, Abia, and Cross River State of President Muhammadu Buhari's commitment to the completion of Calabar to highway before the end of his tenure. The presidency made the disclosure through the senior special assistant to the president on Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Itinnu, during inspection of the road project. Speaking with newsmen, the federal government gave the assurance that the road would not be abandoned under any circumstances, stressing that the administration had to go all out to source for funding and loans to ensure the completion of the road. The government also appealed to communities where the road project was undertaken to take ownership of the project and support the contractors in ensuring that it went on smoothly to completion.
And a few times explaining that
to further redeem one of its promises on road infrastructure across the country, the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari carried out an inspection of the Calabar to Highway, a federal road that connects Akwa Ibom, Abia and Cross River States, to ascertain the level of job done in the area and to also understand the mitigating factors that might delay the project.
this is the job that is done by the all progressive government of President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Osinbajo as leaders of this country. And they are assured that no matter what happens, the road will not be abandoned. That is why we had to go every length to look for funds. I'm sure you heard me on the radio and a few times explaining that I don't have locals to go and negotiate with African Development Bank. But I had to go to African Development Bank to see the possibility of making money, getting money for loan, as loan. I had to go to Debt Management Office to try to see whether we can raise some other loan facilities as they raise for other roads for this. You heard me that the whole of this road, everybody in the whole of Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Abia, has been abusing me and shouting on me. Yes. And they call it the STvNg road. And I don't mind that, but it is the President Muhammadu Buhari highway. Let it be called the StevNg road now that it is under construction. But when it is fully constructed, it will be credit to President Muhammadu Buhari. I will only share the credit under him.
It reassured the people across Akwa Ibom and the neighboring Cross River State of the administration's commitment to reduce the suffering of people across the neighboring states. From Spectrum Television, I am Uyai Anyakan.
In the meantime, the federal government and family of the late Itinnu Babalola, the Nigerian lady who died in Côte d'Ivoire after she was wrongly jailed, has rejected the autopsy on the cause of her death. Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Commission Abike Dabiri Erewa and the father of the deceased Emmanuel Babalola gave the position at a meeting at the NIDCAM office in Lagos. Speaking on the report, Dabiri Erewa, who expressed NIDCAM deepest condolences to the Babalola family, said the autopsy left so many questions unanswered. Recall that Itinnu reportedly got entangled in a legal battle when she reported to the police that her house in Bonoku, Cote d'Ivoire had been burgled. She was, however, charged to court, and the prosecutor, in collaboration with the police, allegedly compromised the case and accused her of human trafficking, and was convicted and sentenced to 20 years in prison, which was later reduced to 10 years, but she died 2 years into her jail term. On legislative matters, the House of Representatives is to investigate the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development over extra budgetary spending worth 48.426 billion naira. The details were contained in the audit query issued by the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, submitted to the House Committee on Public Accounts for further legislative action. Reports say the lawmakers, on resumption from the Christmas and New Year recess, are also expected to investigate the ministry over the non-payment of eligible contractors despite the release of funds in the 2018 Appropriation Act. In a related development, the House of Representatives has listed a series of cultural traditions it will outlaw, especially those infringing on the fundamental rights of widows in Nigeria. They include preventing in-laws from taking over possession of property belonging to the late husband and forced marriage between a widow and her deceased husband's brothers, amongst others. A lawmaker representing the Akoko Southeast, Akoko Southwest Federal Constituency in Ondo State, Adejoro Adogun, who sponsored the bill, proposed amendment to Section 46 of the Act by inserting definitions on harmful practices against widows, amongst others. Recall that the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act Amendment Bill 2021, which is awaiting second reading at the House, seeks to amend the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act number 19/2015 to prohibit the discrimination against widows and all forms of repressive and degrading widowhood practices, provide for remedies for victims, and penalize offenders. In politics, the People's Democratic Party says President Buhari's refusal to assent the Electoral Bill is part of APC's plot to rig the 2023 general election, adding that there were other provisions in the document that would naturally sanitize the electoral system, and if the document was assented and became functional, the All Progressives Congress APC will find it difficult to rig elections. In a statement signed by the National Publicity Secretary Nebo Olugamba, PDP recalled how APC planted some lawmakers at the upper and lower legislative chambers to scuttle the provision that deals with electronic means of transferring election results, but failed to stop it, adding that what they failed to achieve during the parliamentary debate, they have now achieved at the executive by ensuring the bill was not assented. The PDP insisted that the ruling party was bent on rigging the 2023 elections. Hence, APC continued to work behind the scene to demonize the document after the bill was passed into law at both chambers of parliament. And in a related development, preparations are underway for the conduct of the local government elections in Katsina State, with more than 70% of necessary logistics required currently on ground. Governor Aminu Masari stated this on Tuesday at the Katsina Government House during a media chat. He decried that 16 local government areas in the state could no longer sustain themselves, as all of them were overloaded with employees bearing genuine official letters of appointment. In Delta, the state government has approved the establishment of 3 independent power plants at Ozoro, Warri, and Agbo to boost electricity supply in the state. The State Commissioner for Energy, Jonathan Ukodiko, disclosed this to newsmen at Ole Isoko South local government area during the conference of Isoko Development Union, adding that the state government was pursuing a legislation that would empower it and private sectors to generate and transmit electricity to all parts of the state. In Enugu, the ground floor of the headquarters building of Enugu State Broadcasting Service has been gutted by fire. Enugu State Chief Fire Officer Okudili Oha confirmed the incident in a statement, adding that fire service promptly deployed 3 fire engines to the scene. Oha, who commended the efforts of the staff who battled the fire before the arrival of the fire service, noted that the fire was completely extinguished within 30 minutes and the building salvaged from the raging inferno. Reports say Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has visited and commiserated with the station and its staff over the incident, and also directed the management and technical crew of the station to ensure that the station was fully back on air soonest. In Niger State, no fewer than 7 persons have reportedly died in a boat mishap at Zigri village, Shiroro local government area of Niger State. This is contained in a statement issued by the spokesperson of the coalition of Shiroro associations, Silas Saba, made available to newsmen in Mina. According to Saba, the incident occurred when the villagers were sailing to Dwanweto, a neighboring village in the hinterland, for a naming ceremony, adding that the current challenges was caused by the establishment of the Zungero hydroelectric power dam in the community. Reports say prior to the construction of Zungero Dam, traveling between the 2 villages was land and not water, as the terrain was majorly dry and motorable. He therefore called on Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission to respond to the incident by providing safety measures such as life jackets and standard boats, among others, to help the people to adapt to their new way of life of water transportation. On security, the Katsina state government says it will lift the ban on telecommunication services in the remaining 7 affected local government areas before January 2022. The governor, who disclosed this during a media briefing with journalists in Katsina, urged residents to do their best to protect their areas from bandit attacks. While commending the efforts of all security agencies, especially vigilance groups, for fighting bandits, the governor also advised people to defend their communities, stressing that the securities must be given all the necessary support, especially in the area of correct information on criminals.